So the concealers I usually use are more of a heavier coverage, but I wanted something that I can use on like no makeup days where your skin looks a bit brighter, but it doesn't look like you're wearing lots of makeup. So this is inspired by the Complexion Rescue Tinted Moisturizer, which I really love, and that's just like a lightweight base. So I'm assuming this will be similar. It's got loads of skincare benefits, which I don't have in any other concealer that I use. So it claims to brighten, depuff, and it has SPF in it, which I don't think any of my concealers have SPF in. I've chosen 3 shades so I can see how it is concealing, highlighting, and contouring. So, it's actually got a bit of coverage to it, but it feels really light. A lot of the concealers I use, they feel a bit thicker and they provide coverage because they're thicker. This one feels a lot like thinner and lighter and comfortable. I just like them to cover my dark circles. So as long as it does that, it's okay.
The bareMinerals Bare Skin Concealer that got discontinued is my holy grail of all concealers. Nothing has replaced it for me. So seeing that they've launched Complexion Rescue Concealer, it was a no-brainer. I've got to find the one that, lives up to that standard. I've gone through so many shades, but there's a reason why. I want to be able to help you to pick your shade. And after my experiences with our newness campaign and trying other concealers, sometimes I've taken a shade home and thought, oh, that's not for me, and not maybe being able to give my best recommendation of what shade would be. So this is why I've got a couple. So I'm gonna break it down. I've got 2 shades for me to be able to highlight. I've gone for Fair Opal and Fair Vanilla. I've got a feeling one's gonna be day, one's gonna be night, but we'll see. I've gone for Light Bamboo for actual concealing, so any blemishes, because I find if I use a highlighting concealer, and by highlighting I mean a lighter shade, it almost draws attention rather than conceals. So that's why I've gone for this shade. Then finally, I've gone for 2 of the darker, deeper shades to contour. So I've gone for Deep Sienna and Medium Suede. I just need something that's quite warm and not too bronzy. And I find using a medium tone concealer works really nicely to contour. So I will be back with all of the tea.
I have only just within maybe the last month or 2 have been getting into using concealer for the first time. And what I'm using is a very, very old, maybe years old concealer that I got from Complexion years and years ago. That's what I'm trying out, and it works. But I want something that's actually going to be a good quality, and especially bareMinerals. I bloody love bareMinerals. I use their Bare Pro foundation every single day. It's my favorite. I'm gonna need to buy a new one soon because it's running out and I'm very sad. I've been really wanting to try a bareMinerals concealer to see what it's like and to see if I can get any better results, because I only have one opinion of that one very old concealer that I'm using. So I'd really like to try something else and see if it's any better. I'd like it to brighten and cover up, I think, are the main 2 things. I do get the odd spot here and there. I've got a nice one brewing up as well. But I also get quite a few red patches. I do have a lot of redness on my skin. I might not be able to see it very much because I'm wearing foundation, but underneath, very red. I can also get flare-ups, which kind of make it a bit worse. So particularly on my chin, it can get very red. So if I can have something that's able to just clear that up and make me feel a little bit less self-conscious, that's great. Ooh, okay. So in difference, this is much more kind of moussey. It's a lot lighter. My Complexion one, it's a lot harder, I think. Also maybe because it's old. It's not going to be a great texture anyway. This is like airy almost, very smooth. But as I'm rubbing it in, it's kind of spreading really nicely as well. Ooh, I think that's a good shade as well for my skin. I went with the Fair Opal shade. I've used the bareMinerals BB cream in the shade Opal, so I thought this might be a good one to go for. I think it's going to be the perfect color actually, because it's just a little bit lighter than my skin, so it'll be able to give me a bit of lightness, but also a nice coverage as well without it standing out too much.
I wanted to try this because I absolutely love Complexion Rescue. I'm actually wearing it today. So I already use the Complexion Rescue BB cream. I feel like it's a natural next step for me to try the concealer. I already love it. I've already tried this already and I really like the texture. It's very similar to the original, but I need to try and wear it day to day and see what it looks like on my skin and update you guys. So I have 2 different shades. I've chosen Fair Vanilla and Fair Opal. I'm gonna use the lighter shade for under my eyes and then Fair Vanilla for my face. Okay, so first impressions, I'm trying this. It's like got like a really whipped texture, which is really nice, kind of like the original formula. So that I like. It's kind of like natural and fresh, so I can see this as being like my everyday concealer rather than like a really full coverage, but it definitely seems buildable. I reckon if I put another layer on that, it would be very buildable. One side I put concealer on already and I put it on the other side, so it's really fresh, I really like it. Yeah, it's really natural coverage. You can build it if you'd like to. So I've just swatched Fair Opal and now I'm gonna swatch the darker shade, which is Fair Vanilla. So I think these are literally one shade above each other, so they shouldn't be too different. So on the right side is the darker vanilla tone and then on the other side is opal. I could have gone for more colours that were darker too, because I definitely do go darker with fake tan for the face area, but I think I've definitely made the right choices for my natural skin colour.
I'm a big fan of the Complexion Rescue, the tinted moisturiser. Really love it. It gives decent coverage, isn't too heavy, isn't too lightweight either in terms of not giving suffice coverage. Just really love it as an everyday tinted moisturiser. It's got a good kind of blend of makeup and skincare in there. So I really wanted to try the concealer. I went for the shade Light Bamboo. Now, I wasn't sure which shade to go for, but I just guessed that I would be at the top end of the light spectrum. That's why I went for this. I love the fact that it's kind of like a mini version of what the Complexion Rescue tinted moisturiser looks like. I think that's really sweet. I do tend to go for a concealer that's more with a wand, a doe foot applicator. So this is quite interesting. That said, I do tend to use my finger, my ring finger, to blend it in, so I don't think it'll be too much of a problem for me to just apply this straight to my finger, to be honest. Let's go in and just see if I've made the right choice with the shade. Taking this out, I saw that it's quite like a moussey light texture. Oh, I think that shade should actually be quite bang on. I'm gonna be using this more for spot correcting rather than highlighting. Seeing that though, I don't get loads of spots, but it is the area of my makeup routine that's lacking. Like I don't have a concealer that I can spot correct because I do tend to use a lighter concealer underneath the eye. So I just thought this would be a nice way to test this out. So if I do get the odd hormonal breakout or any areas of redness I want to cover, I can use this.
I'm on the search for a concealer that I can use with lighter coverage foundations, BB creams, those sort of products. And the Complexion Rescue cream is a sort of lighter coverage, natural day range. I've gone for the shade Fair Opal. I think that's gonna match my skin tone the best. Oh yeah, I think that's going to be perfect, like just a little bit brighter than my natural skin tone. And it's really quite fluid as well, which will be good for under the eyes because you definitely never want to dry out your underlids too much. I definitely would apply this with a finger. I think that's usually how I tend to go in with concealer. And yeah, it's just so smooth to blend in. Packaging is a bit different, isn't it? I don't know if I saw that on a shelf. I would probably think either like a sun product, like a bronzing or an SPF product, or maybe a heavier makeup, which actually is, I don't want to say it's misleading, but it's a lighter range. So